This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 22nd day of February in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition Member of Parliament and Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, Attorney at Law Amanzo Walton Desir, opened the 2021 budget debates with a presentation that took the PP Civic Administration to task on several issues. Opening her presentation, the opposition MP accused the government of discrimination against Afro-Guyanese in the public service. Met with loud heckling from the government benches, Mrs. Walton Desir said the matter of race relations remains relevant and pertinent and must be highlighted.
It is not lost on any of us, sir, that the public service is comprised largely of Afro-Guyanese. It is not, I'm going to talk about race all day, because it is relevant and it is pertinent, and y'all can't take it. But this is what I have to say, and I will speak. Mr. Speaker, it is not lost on us, sir, and in fact, sir, it is downright undeniable that this administration has embarked upon an ethnicization of the public service. Mr. Speaker, the PPPC has made it pellucid that there is no place for Afro-Guyanese professionals in the public service. And so they have targeted us. And so what they are doing as well, sir, is those of our Indo-Guyanese and indigenous Guyanese brothers and sisters who support us have been targeted. And Mr. Speaker, what is more egregious, sir, is that they're not quite content to stop at firing you, but they go to the extent of making their disapproval known to anybody who would presume to want to retain the professional services of these men and women. This is the kind of climate that these people are fostering, Mr. Speaker, in our country.
As it relates to budget financing, Mrs. Walton Desir told the National Assembly that the PP Civic Administration seems to favor borrowing and increasing Guyana's external debt, and she posited that the coalition had a solid tax-based system, which assisted greatly in budget financing.
I want to say, sir, we have to appreciate, and I am no economist, I don't pretend to be, but I understand at a very, very fundamental level that the larger the budget, it is the larger share of one's income that is taken. So the size of the budget is taken in the context of income and not in terms of the absolute amount of money expenditure in any particular year. So that we put to rest this boast about being the largest budget ever. It means nothing without context.
On the coronavirus pandemic, the opposition member called the government's COVID-19 relief distribution a total disaster, noting that the most vulnerable seem not to be benefiting.
What you have happening is that into the context of this 25,000 cash grant relief, a lot of requirements are being imposed. You got to present transport. You got to present utility bills. You got to present agreement of rental. And guess what, Mr. Speaker? These hurdles, sir, are only put in place when you come to AP and UAFC strongholds. But, Mr. Speaker, what the PPPC fails to understand is by discriminating in this manner, they are jeopardizing all of our health. Because guess what, sir? The sentiment of the man on the street is if you miss me with the 25,000, miss me with the vaccine.
And on the issue of foreign policy, she said the government seems to be governing from a weakened position, and this will put the country's foreign policy at risk. The opposition has already indicated that it cannot lend support to the budget, since it does very little to offer real assistance to those most affected by the pandemic, and is short on new ideas. More news coming up in just a moment.
GTT is celebrating our 30th year of proudly serving Guyana. You're invited to join the celebration with 30% off your internet for 3 months when you sign up for Blaze high-speed internet powered by Plume Home Pass. Promotion runs from January 29th to February 28th. Take advantage of this offer today using promotional code BLAZE330. Visit gtt.gy Blaze Discount 17 for full details. GTT and you, together we rise.
Trifina, how you could yarn on today's pension day?
I collect my pension and went to the market since the 23rd.
How you mean?
I tell you, Levy switched to lodgement. Since me last book finished, I switched.
Oh, you join up a lodge was this lodgement?
Oh, the NIS lodgement system allows pensioners to get their pension into their bank account. The money is paid into the account by the 23rd of the month, so you could withdraw it whenever you like.
So wait, I ain't got for join no long line. Why you ain't tell me before?
Told you, Cleo. When you go to submit your life certificate, ask them for the allotment application form. When you complete it and the bank verify it, then NIS is going to process it. After they process it, your money will be in your account.
Well, all right, I join them now.
And don't forget, when you're carrying your life certificate, ask them for the lodgement application form.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
This is Annie Bina. She's a clothing designer. She also likes to hang out with her friends. However, a life-changing event is about to occur. The mosquito that bit Annie Bina is infected with a tiny worm that causes lymphatic filariasis, also known as filaria. But what is filaria? Filaria is a disease that affects a person's lymphatic system, causing legs, arms, breasts, or scrotum to swell and eventually remain in a swollen state that cannot go back to normal. Filaria shows no symptoms during the early years. Untreatable chronic symptoms can appear as late as 20 years after infection. Since there are no symptoms in the beginning, most infected persons do not know they're infected, like Annie Bina. When the symptoms begin to appear, nothing will be able to make them disappear. Are you sure that you've not been infected like Annie Bina? What can you do then since you see no symptoms? Take your pills. Prevention is the best cure. A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Welcome back. Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton today told the National Assembly that he inherited a sad situation at the Ministry of Labor when he took up the appointment as the minister. During his budget debate presentation, the Labour Minister chided the former government for its handling of occupational health and safety matters, which he said have been plaguing the mining industry for a long time.
Mr. Speaker, our people were dying under the stewardship of this government. Mr. Speaker, they were dying in the mining pits. They were dying in the construction sites. Yet the APNU AFC government saw it not fit to train and to employ more occupation safety and health officers. In a matter of 5 months, this PPP civic government, we have increased the complement of occupation safety and health officer from 9 to 30, threefold, because we recognize the importance of the lives of our people on work sites.
The minister said under the coalition government there were only 9 officers who were responsible for the implementation of safety measures. Hamilton said that was not good enough, and his ministry has already moved to correct that situation.
Presently, we are reviewing legislation to deal with the oil and gas sector. These people were in government for 5 years. They paid no attention to it. Now attention is like if we did not need safety and health. Secondly, the COVID-19 pandemic came upon us, and they did not understand that it was important to include in the framework of managing COVID-19 the occupation, safety, and health.
Additionally, the Minister of Labour said the Occupational Health and Safety Department is currently reviewing legislation to deal with the oil and gas sector, something he noted that the coalition paid no attention to when they were in government. He said many workers in the oil and gas sector have been pressing for more to be done in that area. Minister Hamilton also said the ministry under his watch will see several new programs and initiatives being rolled out in 2021 that will be to the benefit of the Guyanese worker. U.S. President Joe Biden is looking forward to Guyana and the United States strengthening bilateral ties and working together in the area of security. In a statement to mark Guyana's 51st Republic anniversary, President Biden noted that Guyana is a strong democracy and said he looks forward to strengthening the bilateral relationship between Guyana and the U.S. based on shared principles of good governance, prosperity, and security. The U.S. President said he's also looking forward to the government teams from Guyana and the U.S. addressing various issues and security concerns that threaten the shared interests of Guyana and the United States, while building on Guyana's economic growth and development. On the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Biden said the challenges of COVID-19 affect everyone and make clear that countries must advance their partnership to face the global pandemic together. The U.S., which has the highest number of COVID-19 cases and deaths, has offered some assistance to Guyana in the COVID-19 fight. Well, after being suspended for almost a year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Guyana-Suriname ferry service is back in operation. The government of Guyana has made the MB Sandaka available to ply the route, as the Kanawaima ferry remains under repair. An agreement between the governments of Guyana and Suriname will see the service being operated 3 times per week. Speaking during a ceremony to restart operations on Sunday, the Public Works Minister Juan Edgel urged citizens to use the ferry as it remains a legal and safe route.
Your government, in collaboration with the government of Suriname many years ago, initiated this service to ensure that you travel safely and lawfully. And we want to encourage all Guyanese and Surinamese to desist from the practice of the backtrack, which is risky and have been fatal.
Because of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on other neighboring countries, the service will only be available to Guyanese and Surinamese.
And the decision between myself and my colleague in a bilateral government Guyana, government of Suriname, is that we are unable to open up for full international travel, whether it's people coming through Brazil, French Guyana, Venezuela, through Brazil, because of this global pandemic. We are concerned and we are taking every effort on both parts to ensure that we keep our borders safe and our nation safe.
Persons using the service are required to produce a negative PCR test result for COVID-19. The test must be within 72 hours of travel. Let's tell you now that the People's National Congress Reform is looking at the possibility of hosting a virtual party congress this year, as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic could prevent a large in-person gathering. The Congress, which is due in April, will see elections for the leader and other top positions in the party. Two of the party's executive members, the incumbent chairperson Valda Lawrence and former General Secretary Aubrey Norton, are expected to contest for the position of party leader. While the two have not officially indicated that they are running for the spot, several party members and groups intend to nominate them. It's unclear whether the current party leader, David Granger, will run again for the position. Mr. Granger is currently serving his second term as leader of the 63-year-old party. He has found himself being criticized openly by many prominent party supporters over his stewardship of the party and the APNU-AFC coalition being booted out of government. The PNC Reform is the largest party in the coalition. PNC Reform General Secretary Amna Ali explained to News Source that when it comes to who will be running for party leadership, it's up to the party groups to make nominations. She said the April timeline for the Congress does not seem practicable at this time because of coronavirus concerns. However, she confirmed that the party is examining other ways in which the Congress can be held. Among the options being floated is for the party to have the event done virtually. She said there is no concrete proposal on the table just yet to determine whether a virtual Congress will take place. Let's tell you now that the father of one of the 4 prisoner escapees who are still on the run has been remanded to jail after being charged with harboring the escapees. 60-year-old bar ticker boat captain Ralph Jones appeared before Magistrate Krista Lambert at the Vreeden Hoop Magistrates Court today and was remanded to jail until the 5th of March, when he will make his next court appearance. Jones of 4th Avenue bar ticker is accused of assisting the 4 prisoner escapees to continue on with their escape after they turned up at his house hours after their escape from the Mazaruni jail. He's facing 4 separate charges, which are all indictable. His attorney Adrian Thompson told the court that his client's son, who is one of the escapees, showed up at his home with the other 3 convicts and demanded food and money. Thompson said his client was fearful for his life and was forced to offer assistance to the men. But according to the police, the man told investigators that in the early hours of last Wednesday morning, his son and the other 3 prisoner escapees showed up at his bar ticker's home. He admitted to the police that he provided each of the escapees with a change of clothing and dumped the clothes that they changed behind the house. The investigating team found a bag containing the clothes as they visited the man's residence. In addition to the dumped clothing, the investigators also found pillows and pillowcases, a bottle of a Red Star rub, and other items. The authorities continue to ask for anyone who may know the whereabouts of the escapees Imran Ramsiwak, Samuel Gavaya, Ryan Jones, and Kenrick Light to make contact with the nearest police station. You can also call 911. This evening, police investigators are still keeping their eyes on a 23-year-old woman who was admitted to a city hospital with more than 70 cocaine-filled pellets in her stomach. So far, she has excreted 75 of those pellets. She was also nabbed with a condom-wrapped package of cocaine in her vagina. The woman was arrested on Saturday at the Eugene F. Correa Airport at Ogle as she prepared to board a Barbados-bound flight. A police report said the woman was pulled over for questioning at the airport as she was seen acting in a suspicious manner. A physical search was done on her, and the first package of cocaine was found in her vagina. After passing the package out, she admitted that she also had swallowed cocaine-filled pellets. She was taken to a city hospital for additional examination and to excrete the pellets. Charges are expected to be filed against her this week.
is Annie Bina. She's a clothing designer. She also likes to hang out with her friends. However, a life-changing event is about to occur. The mosquito that bit Annie Bina is infected with a tiny worm that causes lymphatic filariasis, also known as filaria. But what is filaria? Filaria is a disease that affects a person's lymphatic system, causing legs, arms, breast, or scrotum to swell and eventually remain in a swollen state that cannot go back to normal. Filaria shows no symptoms during the early years. Untreatable chronic symptoms can appear as late as 20 years after infection. Since there are no symptoms in the beginning, most infected persons do not know they're infected, like Annie Bina. When the symptoms begin to appear, nothing will be able to make them disappear. Are you sure that you've not been infected like Annie Bina? What can you do then since you see no symptoms? Take your pills. Prevention is the best cure. A message from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Due to the impacts of the global pandemic, COVID-19 across our nation, essential organizations like us have chosen to adopt innovative approaches to meet the emerging needs of our customers while protecting our employees. Here are some quick tips to make managing your GPL bill easier while we practice social distancing. To register for electronic billing, you can use the e-billing tab on your website. To access your bill balance, you can use 4 options: the website live chat at gpl.net, the online inquiry on our website under billing, SMS Freedom by texting your GPL reference number to 624-0400 or 608-8400, or call our call center at 226-2600. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Across the region right now, Barbados has been removed from the European Union list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes, the European Council announced today. Dominica has, however, been added to the list. In a statement, the EU group said the Council today adopted conclusions on the revised EU list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes, deciding to add Dominica to the EU list of non-cooperative jurisdictions and remove Barbados from the list. Barbados was added to the EU blacklist in October 2020 after it received a partially compliant rating from the Global Forum. The Council explained that Barbados has now been granted a supplementary review by the Global Forum and has therefore been moved to a state of play document. The Ministry of International Business and Industry in Barbados had requested a supplementary review on the grounds that deficiencies identified by the EU had been addressed. The government of Jamaica has earmarked more than $244 million Jamaican dollars for work to strengthen and increase Jamaica's climate resilience across priority sectors. This is only the pilot program for Climate Resilience 11 adaptation program and finance mechanisms. The project, which started back in 2015 and is being implemented by the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, aims to help Jamaica adjust more easily to climate change and supports the integration of climate change issues into development planning by government agencies. It also provides funds for climate change adaptation work in small and medium-sized businesses, as well as communities island-wide. Funding is being provided by the government and the Inter-American Development Bank. And finally tonight, international news. The head of the World Health Organization is pleading with rich countries to check before ordering additional COVID-19 vaccine shots for themselves, whether that undermines efforts to get vaccine shots to poorer nations. Wealthy nations have snapped up several billion vaccine doses, while some countries in the developing world have little or none. European nations have given financial support to the UN-backed COVAX effort to get vaccines to the world's most vulnerable people and are considering sharing some of their own doses. On Friday, leaders of the Group of 7 industrial powers said they would accelerate global vaccine development and deployment and support affordable and equitable access to vaccines and treatments for COVID-19. They cited a collective $7.5 billion from the G7 to the UN-backed efforts. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting. Stay safe.